Welcome to another episode of Repair Talk. My name is Jonathan. Today we are working on the Galaxy S7 and how to tear it down. The following tools will be required for this procedure. You're going to need a heat gun, playing cards, plastic pry tools, a Phillips screwdriver, flat tip tweezers, and some fine point tweezers. Just one glance at this phone and you can tell it has been through hell. It has also been repaired by a cut rate repair store in our area, and they did a half-assed job on it. We'll get this started by getting our heat gun up to about 250 degrees, maybe a little more, depending on how aggressive the adhesive this cut rate store used. As you get it heated up, you want to make sure that you keep that gun moving to not leave it lingering in one spot for too long, as this will cause permanent damage to the phone. Once you get it warm, you'll be able to get a little separation, put a card in there, slide it all the way around, and remove that. Usually I'd take this time to go ahead and rag on the particular store that did this, but I'm not even going to waste my breath. If they continue to do this, they won't be in business very long. So once you get that back glass off, we can go ahead and remove these screws. Once those are removed, we can take these plastic housing pieces out and expose our motherboard. On a normal basis, You truly wouldn't have to worry about going through the wireless charging flex because it is more recessed in this particular model than it was in the Note 5 and the Galaxy S6, S6 Edge, and Edge Plus. But when it has been worked on by another store, of course, dumbasses love to overlap adhesive and make this very difficult for you. So make sure that you ask before working on someone's device, hey, has this been worked on before? Now, in this case, I knew, but if you didn't, this can really cause a lot of damage. I am a little odd when it comes to the screw removal on the Galaxy S7. I do like to keep them with the plastic housing, that way I don't get them confused, and later on, once this is fully disassembled, I will put them back to the frame until I actually install new parts. You have that plastic retaining housing removed, you can go ahead and start by unplugging your battery. And then we're going to unplug the LCD Our ear speaker, our proximity sensor, both are power and volume flex cables, and then we're going to work down to our coaxials and our fingerprint sensor. Once all of that is unplugged, you can unplug the front-facing camera and remove that. Never forget the SIM tray. It can cause a lot of unneeded damage. Using a pair of tweezers, you can gently slide it in to where the front-facing camera is and lift up. Do not try to remove the board completely as it is still plugged in via the charge port. Once you have it lifted up, you can use a plastic pry tool or a fingernail to gently unplug that. Once you have the board removed, then let's go ahead and use our flat tip tweezers to slide up under our vibrator motor and set that to the side as well. Next is going to be our proximity sensor and ambiance sensor, and of course that annoying Android LED flash. Simply start by peeling up the captain's tape near the flex cable, and then with your flat tip tweezers on the right side there is a little notch. You can start to peel, and then using the flex cable on the other side, peel the whole thing out and set that to the side. This part is truly not for the faint of heart. If you do not have to remove this ear speaker, leave it be. It's a very, very cheaply constructed piece of equipment. Most of the time it's going to fall apart. In this case, mine kind of came apart. It still works, doesn't have any distortion, but it's still something to think about. In the event that you do need to actually remove this ear speaker, you want to start on the left side with your flat tip tweezers and slide it at a downward angle and use it as a lever to lift it out. Although I do recommend having a backup just in case. In this video, I do go down to the charge port, remove those screws, and pull out the auxiliary jack. This is not necessary at the moment as we cannot remove that charge port until that screen has been removed. For poops and giggles, let's go ahead and talk about it. All you have to do is pull your coaxials. I do recommend in some manner trying to keep order of these. It's very easy to kind of decipher where they go, but less confusion means quicker work, means better results. Once you have that set to the side, you can also unplug the auxiliary jack and using a pair of flat tip tweezers on the part where the screw held it down, you can gently start to put a little pressure there. It should just pop out for you. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and flip this over, get our heat gun going again, and we arrive to the screen removal. This really is not challenging as long as you really are not trying to save your LCD. This one doesn't even work. It was installed incorrectly. For some reason, it caused extra pressure to the back of it and it cracked. And blah blah blah. I'm just saying what the customer told me. Truthfully, it looked like it got sat on. With all that stated, let's get that heat gun going. On this particular one, we're going to bump that up to about 300, 350, depending on the aggressiveness of the adhesive. In this case, it really was not that strong, so once we get the edges hot, we'll take the razor blade, start to separate it. I do want to get this card under the LCD to make this an easy and clean breakaway, but at first I don't. Although I was unable to get under the LCD on this side, we'll go ahead and take advantage of being under the glass and work our way all the way over the top. That way I can kind of peel it back and see the flex cable connection to the LCD and use that card to get behind it, clearing the left side. Then we'll move back to the original side, pushing that flex cable through the little slot on the frame and clearing the adhesive all the way down on the right side. Now, depending on the damage to your home button, you want to put some heat down at the bottom. If you have a lot of damage to the home button and you plan on replacing it, don't worry about the kind of temperature you're putting down there. Those flex cables can really take it. The home button and the paint cannot. Putting that heat to it, you should be able to kind of lift up that glass and remove the LCD, separating it from the home button. At the beginning of this video, I did say that the repair store may have used Tessa tape. Obviously, based off how easy I can remove this from the frame, it is definitely not. It is just some cheap black double-sided tape. Pulling off the home button is actually quite easy. It seems like the waterproof gasket is not truly waterproof in my opinion, as it does not actually enclose the home button, but you can just pull it through the slot and gently peel it off. So after we get that done, we're going to go ahead and start to remove this charge port. By lifting up these sub-key buttons, there are little slots that allow you to take a flat tip tweezer and slide under them. If you are trying to conserve this and not damage it, be very careful. This one I'm replacing only because the repair store before had damaged one of the buttons at the bottom. Once you have those flex cables lifted up, we can flip this back over, go ahead and work them through the grooves, and lift up both sides before trying to remove the whole flex cable. Next, we will try to remove this battery. It's really not difficult if you do this exactly as I do it, and this is really where the playing cards come into play. Because playing cards have a high heat resilience, you can set these over the actual open space, covering the battery, using the heat gun, heat up the frame all around it, and then put a little pressure, allowing space to put the plastic card in there and separate all the adhesive, freeing your battery. With that removed, you may think, oh, we're done. But there's actually your power button and your volume button flexes. I did try to do this with a flat tip pair of tweezers. Unfortunately, that didn't work. There is a little tiny pinhole that you can use a pair of fine tip tweezers to gently grab and force up. Once you have those flex cables removed, you'll be able to see the waterproof seals that hold the physical buttons to the frame. With a little bit of pressure on what looks like a nipple, which is actually what we call them in the repair industry, you can push the waterproof seal right off. With that waterproof seal removed, you'll be able to put a little bit of pressure to the actual physical buttons in the center of it. You do want to put your hand in front of it just to make sure it doesn't accidentally shoot off like it did in my Motorola E5 Plus video. Just to make sure that this is an actual 100% complete full teardown, we're going to remove all of the gaskets, any of the covers for the LED annoying Android I'm a notification and I got a dead battery blah 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 thingy. Once you do all that, hey, you got a completely broken down Galaxy S7.
Now you know. DIY repairtalk.com.
If you liked it, let me see a thumbs up. If you really like it, hit that subscribe button. Wait, what am I saying? Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.